Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Daily D. Today's topic is ignorance. So, ignorance is the lack of information, or knowledge. And so, what that really means is whenever you learn something new, whenever you have a wow, what does that really mean? Or I don't really fully understand that moment. That is called ignorance. Now, embracing your ignorance is really important because ignorance really creates and promotes your creativity. The more you know, or the more you understand, rather, that you are ignorant in a lot of ways, the more success you are going to have because it makes you more curious. It makes you more questioning, if you will. And when you question things, what that does is it gives you the opportunity to learn. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because there are many people out there who do not embrace their ignorance. And I don't mean that because, well, this is a bad thing for them, or I'm not trying to, actually it is a bad thing. I just don't want to call them anything other than ignorant. But here's what I'll tell you is when you don't embrace ignorance, that means you pretend to know it all. That means you act as if you know. And that's a challenge. Have you ever met somebody who knows it all? Who, no matter what topic or subject matter, whatever's going on in the world, they have an opinion. They know what's going on, and maybe they have a little bit of knowledge in something, but they over exaggerate their knowledge by trying to profess how smart and talented and gifted and knowledgeable they are. You ever met that person? I see them all the time. In fact, recently I was with a group of people. I won't mention names or people, but we were talking about something that's related to my business, which is taxes. We were also talking something related to the government, which is some of the stimulus things that are coming out. And as we got together, somebody referenced something about the stimulus and taxes and something else, and then all of a sudden somebody starts speaking about it. And I'm like, okay, what are they going to, what are they going to share? And they start saying how it's going to impact the tax returns and how things are going to change and how much people are going to have to pay and all this stuff. Like they went on and on and on about how this stuff, and I just stayed quiet, right? Like who am I to speak up, right? Well, by the way, this person has maybe they have a little tax knowledge because they may, but they're not the person to be the authority here, if you will, in the room. And they weren't the person that had the most knowledge or education in the room on this subject or experience, years of service, whatever you want to call them. It was me. I'm absolutely in that room. I was the expert. And this person just kind of went on about how they knew so much. And then at the end they say, oh, I don't know anything. Let me turn it over to David. And I was just baffled why somebody would want to go out and profess all the things that they knew, but they didn't really know anything. And that in itself right there, that ignorance, if you will, that ignorance is really a challenge because that lack of not knowing, what that does is if you don't embrace your ignorance and just say, hey, I don't know anything. Hey, I don't understand this. Hey, I can't answer those questions. Hey, David, or in this case, what I was using an example, hey, David, can you help me? Well, if they can't do that, if you can't do that, then you're not going to get very far in life. If all you do is profess how smart and how great and how talented and you want to have an opinion on everything, you're not going to get very far. In fact, whenever I get into a room of people who I know for a fact know more than me about a subject, I stay quiet. That's what I should do. You know why? Because ignorant people want to learn. They listen. They're like, oh, I know what. Let me see what I can pick up from this conversation. And people who don't embrace their ignorance, they speak up. They give their opinions. They share their thoughts without having any real knowledge or backup to what they're about to say. In fact, I believe that's just a response mechanism for some people. It's a defense mechanism. It's to defend because they feel like they don't have a say so in the world, and so by being loud and by being opinionative, they feel like they're somebody. And the honest truth is, I don't need to be anybody in the room. I don't need to be the person that's the most knowledgeable or most skilled or most talented, or I don't need to be that guy. I'm just telling you. But if I am, I should speak up. But if I'm not, I need to sit down, shut up, and listen so I can learn from somebody who is. Because that's embracing ignorance. I hope this helps you today to embrace your ignorance and become a more ignorant person in more things. I wish you nothing but health, wealth, success, but most importantly, freedom. Have a great day. Great day, guys.